Now, ancient Greek astronomers believed that the Earth was the center of the universe. This model is called the geocentric model. Geo, of course, is Greek for Earth. Why us today think the Earth was at the center of everything? Well, let's think about it a little. They were on the Earth, and the Earth obviously was not moving. I mean, if the Earth moved below, our feet, clouds, and birds would be left behind as we moved, right? If we jump into the air, we wouldn't land at exactly the same place that we jumped from. We feel a constant breeze on our cheeks caused by the Earth's movement. And then, of course, when the Greeks looked up at the sky, it seems that all the body is they saw were revolving around the Earth. So you see, this was really very sensible theory, a theory that was confirmed by observation. Around the 2nd century, Ptolemy, a Greek astronomer living in Egypt, collected all the ideas of Greek astronomers in a book called Omegas, which means Greek treatise. This Ptolemy, by the way, was quite a genius. He also wrote a book about optics and geography. So anyway, he developed an elegant model of a universe that were like clockwork. This model is so associated with Ptolemy that it was called the Ptolemaic model. In this model, the planets are points of a light attached to the crystal spheres, the celestial spheres they are called. These spheres fit on inside another and move in perfect harmony. Their circular movements were believed to create a kind of music called the music of the spheres. I always like the idea of heavenly music. So anyway, in this system, the Earth is immovable and is located at the very heart of things. The Moon is attached to the closest sphere, followed by the inner planets Mercury and Venus. Then came the Sun, followed by the rest of the known planets Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. The stars are attached to the outermost crystal sphere. All of these heavenly bodies are made up of some glowing substance called perfect matter. Now there were problems with this model. One of the retrograde movement of planets, sometimes planets such as Mars, seemed to slow down and then change direction. They actually seem to go backwards and then loop around and go the other way. That's why the Greeks called them planets. Planet is Greek for wanderer. Actually, this is an optical illusion caused by the fact that the various planets don't take the same amount of time to orbit the Sun. Ptolemy theorized that, well, he devised the trick to explain this abnormality. He invented the idea of epicycles. I'm not going to bother explaining epicycles because they are very complicated. In fact, hardly anyone completely understands this system today, but his system was remarkably accurate. It could predict the future positions of planets and even predict solar and lunar eclipses. Well, this Earth-centered model was accepted by almost everyone for almost 1,500 years. By the Middle Ages, the Ptolemaic system had become part and parcel of the medieval worldview, part of religion, philosophy, science. The planets and stars were believed to have all kinds of powers to influence events on Earth, to shape people's destinies. Then in the 16th century, Nicholas Copernicus, a scientist from East Prussia, now part of Poland, came up with a revolutionary theory. It was the heliocentric model. Helios is Greek for sun. It's also called the Copernican model. In this model, the sun is the center of the universe, and all the planets circle it, moving in the same direction. First Mercury, then Venus, then Earth. The moon naturally circles the Earth. Farther out from the sun are the orbits of Mars and the other planets. It was until a century later, when Galileo built the telescope and trained it on the planets, that the Ptolemaic model could be definitely proven false. Galileo learned Venus has face just like the moon. Crescent, fall, crescent, then it disappears. In the Ptolemaic system, Venus should always look like a crescent when viewed from the Earth, but because actually it leads from the center of its orbit by the Sun. Venus has a complete set of phases, so Galileo proved Ptolemy was wrong. Of course, nowadays we know that the Copernican system presents a reasonably accurate picture of our solar system, but not of the universe. Copernicus didn't know what to make of the stars. He said they were a faraway points of made with unknown nature. It was impossible for him to know that they were much like our sun, only unthinkable farther away. Today we know that the sun is only one of billions sub-stars in our galaxy. We are not even in the center of that galaxy, but way out in one arm, out in the suburbs. And not only that, we now know that our galaxy is only one of billions, maybe trillions of galaxies. So in a couple of thousand years, we have moved from being right smack in the center of the universe to living on a rather insignificant piece of river state.